most teams don't have two good tight ends. Like a lot of teams have two good wideouts, so it's just out there. Every team's starting tight end. So 32, we got the Colts' new starter because Delaney Woods is out for the season. So if it was Woods, I think he'll be a few spots higher. But just with it being Granson, he's unproven. He just he's not that. He's a fine. He's okay, but he's just not good. But he's like, how can he do being your number one now with Woods out for the season? So they stay there. Then at 31, you got Will Disley now at the Chargers. It's been Slicker and Seahawks. He's been fine, all right there. He's a good, decent blocker, but he's not great receiving wise. But he's still a fine tight end. Like you could do worse than him, but you could also do a lot better, obviously, since he's at 31. So then at 30, I got Zach Ertz for the Commanders. He used to be a really good tight end. He used to be near the top of the league. He's still all right. Just he's past his prime, but he's a good leader and he can get you some decent yards, but that he's not much. At 29, I had Tommy Tremble, the Panthers. They also have Jaron Sanders, who they drafted out of Texas this year, so he might take some starting snaps. So I feel like Tremble will be their main starter this year. Turnbull's doing all right, but he hasn't proven a ton. I just feel like he has more potential than those guys behind them because he's younger than all of them. Like, yeah, I just feel like Turnbull's have more potential. I'm just banking on that potential, be helping him out and being a little better this year than he has been in the past. At 28, I've had Trotman, other Broncos, formerly the Saints. Like really, like he probably still be a backup somewhere, but like the only reason he's really a starter is because I think John Payton really likes him because he drafted him for the Saints. He brought him over to the Broncos when he came over. I feel like he might be one of those guys that Payton just like you have the coach that really likes him, that helps you stay in the league as a starter. But he would be a good backup. He was a backup. I don't really think he's a great starter. Then 27, I had Chico Quanquo of the Titans. I think this is his third year at this point. He showed some flashes, but when he first got drafted, people knew he was going to be developed at tight end. But I think he can have a breakout year. I don't think he'd be great, but I think he can still be a good tight end and be a little better than he has been in the past so far. But I think he'll do better. And I don't think the Titans will be competing this year, but like they kind of need them to because outside of Pollard and DeAndre Hopkins, they don't have many weapons because Derrick Henry's gone. Burks has not been good so far. Like they got Tyler Boyd, but like they added Kevin Ridley, but those are two new guys. On those are not like great consistently players. He's the only guy they have tight end, so we'll see how he does. Then 26, you have Jonnu Smith, now the Dolphins, formerly the Falcons. Like we'll see how he does outside of Arthur Smith because all of his best years have been with Arthur Smith as his play caller, whether it was the Falcons, whether it was with the Titans. Smith's with the Steelers now. John's with now the Dolphins. He's like Arthur Smith seems to love the guy. Like he always seems to give him a ton of playing time. Even last year when he had a guy like Kyle Pitts, John Smith is a fine tight end, but the Dolphins also don't use tight ends a lot. Like they have not prioritized those tight ends like a ton. Like they prioritize them being good blockers so they can help out the offensive line, which is another group on that offense they have not invested a lot in. Just like chip block and just help guy Tua more time. Then 25, I have Juwan Johnson of the Saints. They get a little bit of down year last year. Like going into the last year, a lot of people were high on him. He didn't do much. He is a guy, former wide receiver. So I think he'll maybe another year being with Derek Carr will help him out. So yeah, and the Saints want to compete. I don't think they'll be great contenders, but they want to. So can he help them out and be their next, like their third or fourth weapon? Just because outside of Olave and Kamara, they don't have much proven weapons right now. Like so, you'll see there. So yeah, that's it for 22 to 25. Got some guys with potential, but they haven't really shown like they can live up to that potential so far. Then you got then you just got some guys that you kind of already know what you have in them, and like they're fine tight ends. They're just not great. So now let's go to the 24 through 16. 24, I have Luke Musgrave. I thought about putting him a little higher. It's just they have I drafted another tight end last year, going into second year too. So I think they're going to be splitting that. I think they're going to be splitting the rest between those two guys. So yeah, let's see here. See, they drafted Tucker Craft in 2023 as well. So I think they're going to be playing both of those guys a lot. So that kind of hurts Musgrave a lot because I don't think he's going to be their consistent every Allen's number one tight end, but I still think he's a good tight end. The Packers also have a ton of other young weapons that they give the ball to. I think Musgrave's a good tight end. He could probably be higher next year. It's just these other guys I think will be the team's number one. So yeah, at 23, Mike Gesicki, now the Bengals, former the Patriots and Dolphins. Mike Gesicki, he had some really good years with the Dolphins before McDaniel came in. Problem is McDaniel, that's the Dolphins. They since he came in, they haven't valued tight ends like for the receiving wise. And Mike Gesicki's all right blocker, but he's not a good blocking tight end. And then the Patriots, they just didn't have any good. They didn't have any good quarterback play since he went there. So yeah, hopefully with a guy like Joe Burrow throwing to them, that will help him out a lot. But the Bengals also haven't done a ton of tight end just because they have all those good wide receivers in Higgins and Chase. They used to have Boyd, obviously, but Boyd's gone. So yeah. And at 22, Downey Bellinger of the Giants going. I thought about ranking him a little higher. It's just he hasn't proven a ton, but Waller's now gone. So he's going into his first season. It's like going into it. Everybody knows he's their first time starter. But Jones is not a good quarterback. So how does he do? He could be fine. But yeah. So then at 21, I have Hunter Henry of the Patriots. Like now with Gesicki gone, he's for sure their number one tight end. He could be like a good safety market for like their number for Drake May if he once he starts. I think Brissett probably be their week one starter, but May will be starting eventually. Henry is a good tight end though. At 20, I have Noah Fant of the Seahawks. Like he's another good tight end. He was for a first round pick. He wasn't worth a first round pick, but he was still a good tight end. And like now in Seattle, he'd be their full time number one tight end because Will Disley is now gone, who they really seem to really like. So we'll see how he does. But it's a new offense with Carroll gone, so they got a lot of new staff. So we'll see how he does there. I think he's a good tight end. At 19, I have Tyler Higbee of the Rams. He will be missed in the first 2 weeks, but still, that's just why I think which is why he's a little lower. He might be a few spots higher if he was playing all season. Just when a guy's don't miss some weeks, it's like that's going to hurt him because that he's just not playing. And when he does play, how does he bounce back? Like, is he 100% the first week he plays? We still find tight end though. Then at 18, we got Kate Otten of the Buccaneers. He's going into his third year at this point out formerly at Washington. It's been a good tight end for them, but I think he could even be better. It's just these guys I think could also be even better than him. Conan's a good tight end. Just also they have a lot of weapons outside of Otton that they give the ball to. It's like when other teams have a ton of other good weapons. It's like how do they do with with their tight end? Because some teams do not value the tight ends a lot. Some value them a lot, like the Ravens, Chiefs, and the Niners, but some don't. So then at 17, I have Tyler Conklin of the Jets. He's been a good tight end for them. Like, yeah, and he's final year at the Vikings. That's who originally drafted him. He was good. Yeah, he's a good tight end. Like we're getting some pretty good tight ends at this point. So yeah. Then 16, we got Pat Fairmouth of the Steelers. I think he could be a little higher, but it's just tough because he's just didn't have a great year last year. He had a fine year, but not a great one. Now they have Georgia tight end, a huge guy. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name. Darnell Washington, that huge tight end. He's a good blocker, so maybe he develops in the receiving game. So maybe you have him take some of his snaps. So I thought Frank Ryan was a good tight end. So yeah, and then also how to deal with inconsistent quarterback play. Again, two new quarterbacks in Wilson and Fields. Wilson is the official week one starter. No one's surprised. It pretty much was announced when they first signed, when they had Russ and Fields at the same time. Like Tomlin pretty much already had right away had said Russ will be our starter. Technically, it was a quarterback battle, but not really. So let's go 15 through 6. 15, I have Brock Bowers, a rookie for the Raiders. Like after his upcoming season, he could be a lot higher than this. It's just he's a rookie. How does he do as a rookie? Like no, most rookie tight ends don't do as good as Sam Laporta did last year. Like that's an outlier for most tight ends, but I still think Bowers is going to be a really good tight end. I just had him a little lower as a rookie, and the Raiders are not probably most likely will not have consistent quarterback play between Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell, which also doesn't help a ton. So yeah, Bowers should be really good. And they also have Michael Mayer, who's going to be playing a lot too, because they just drafted him in the second round in 23. So like they had two recent high drafted tight ends. So like how much do they've had two tight ends out? They have 14. I have David Njoku of the Browns. He's another good tight end. It's just I don't think Dylan Dryer. I think he's still a really good tight end. It's just how does Deshaun Watson do? How does Deshaun Watson finally bounce back for the Browns? But I still think Njoku's a good tight end. But also now they still have Cooper. Obviously, they have Jerry Jeudy. They just brought in. Eventually, after at least 4 games, they had Nick Chubb back. So yeah. Then at 13, I have Dalton Schultz of the Texans. He had some good years with the Cowboys. He had a good year last year at the Texans. They extended him in the offseason to keep him around. He's a good tight end. Just another guy who the Texans have a ton of wide receiver weapons. Texans have a lot of good weapons that it's going to be tough to give a lot of good targets and catches to other guys. Like they have Nico Collins, they have Tank Dell, they have Stephon Diggs. So yeah, but Strauss is still really good tight end. At 12, I have Evan Gingham with the Jaguars. He's been pretty good for them these last couple of years. So yeah, it's just another team like the Jaguars have some new weapons. Like they brought in Gabe Davis, they drafted Brian Thomas Jr. So like, how much does it affect Ingram? But I still think he's a good tight end, and he is their outs like him and 18 are like the only guys who have been like their main weapons that are been here for more than 2 years, more than 1 year, I should say. Like this is that. So yeah, Ingram's still a good tight end. The 11, I have Kyle Pitts. I think like with the new offense, and with a good quarterback with Kirk, he should do a lot better. But now just that should help him a ton, and hopefully he can get some touchdowns in the red zone. Like as long he should be a good receiver like that. He was top 5 pick in his draft for a reason. He just has not lived up to that yet. He's still a good tight end. At 10, I have Dalton Kincaid of the Bills. They also have Dawson Knox, who's another really good tight end. Like if this was just top 32 tight ends in the whole league, not just starters, Knox would be up in the top, up for sure, at least top 20. And Kincaid also plays some wide receiver. I just did my ranking. I put I did based off of who they had listed as the top tight end of their depth chart, and they had a Kincaid. Kincaid probably also might play some slot wide out. Like he can't do that just so they can have a lot of 2 tight end sets. But we'll see. Either way, Kincaid's still a really good tight end, and that's what he is. And then number 9, I have Cole Kmet of the Bears. He's a really good tight end. Just have the guys that I think will have more good years. And like the Bears had a ton of weapons. They had Keenan Allen. They had Roma Dunze. They had DeAndre Swift. And how's Caleb Williams was a rookie, which could hurt him as well. I still think Kamal Kmet's a really good tight end. It's just he's not the Bears' number 2 receiving weapon now anymore, or even number 3. So yeah. Then 8, I have Dallas Goedert of the Eagles. Like he had a little bit he had still a good year last year, but he took some injuries. He had a little bit of down year this last season, the Eagles, but at the end of the season, most of the Eagles offense did. It wasn't just him. But I still think Goddard's a good tight end. Eagles love having good tight ends. Like they went right from Zach Ertz to Dallas Goddard. They played together, but like once they got rid of Ertz, they still had Goddard, and there wasn't much of a this. Yeah. Then number 7, right of the Cardinals. I think he had a he had a good year last year. I think he's going to break break out here this year. Going in there, your Cardinals. He's got that. They should have kind of Murphy most of the hopefully all of the year with them, but because he missed a lot of last season because of his torn ACL recovery. So we'll see there. But yeah, McDrive's a good tight end. and they don't have many weapons outside of him, which also helps. The number 6, yeah, I have Jake Ferguson of the Cowboys, and the picture he's the one on the far right, and number 87. He had a really good breakout year for them last year. Like he was a really good replacement for Dalton Schultz. Like yeah, and now they also another team that lost some good weapons. Like they don't have a good proven running back. They don't have a good third wide receiver. So we'll see there. But yeah, Ferguson's a good tight end. These top 5 guys ahead of them are just the top. If they're for sure the top 5, it's just what order do you put some of them in. So number 5, T.J. Hawkinson. Like if it wasn't like him and Kittle are really close, if it wasn't for Hawkinson missing at least the first 4 games of the season, I'll put him ahead of Kittle. But Hawkinson's still gonna be on the pup list, so he's out at least the first 4 games for the Vikings. But he is a really, really good tight end. Like he's a big difference maker for the Vikings when he's on the field. So yeah, I just realized 3 of the top 5 tight ends are out of Iowa. Like Hawkinson, Kittle, and Laporta are all from went to college at Iowa. So yeah, Iowa has some pretty good tight ends, I say so. And then at 4, I have George Kittle of the Niners. He's a really good tight end for them. Just he's a great blocking tight end. He's one of, if not the best blocking tight end in the league. He's really good at that. He's great for them. Just he is, I think, 30 at this point. So how much longer does he keep this up? And can he stay healthy? He's dealt with some injuries over his career. So you see there, but he's still a great tight end either way. And then at number 3 is Sam Laporta of the Lions, going to second year. He had a great rookie year. It's just, and some guys do have sophomore slumps that kind of went into it, but I just think Mark Andrews coming off that injury, I think he'll be fine. Like the playoff game, I think it's the Chiefs. You can't really judge anything just because you could easily tell he was not 100% against the Chiefs. He rushed it back just to try to help out his team. So yeah, but let's go back to Laporta. Laporta had a great rookie year, one of the best tight end rookie years of ever, if not the best. Like he was really near out there, and he was a huge reason why the Lions made it all the way to the NFC Championship game. It's a big help in that. Laporta's a great tight end. Like if Kelce declines a little bit because the Kelce had still a good year, but for his standards, he didn't have as good of a year. Kelce's only getting older, so maybe Kelce moves down a little bit, or even Andrews struggles, and Laporta's top 2 next year if he has another good year. Number 2, Mark Andrews of the Ravens. Like he's a great tight end for them. Like he was having another great year last year before he went down with that serious injury. Like yeah, he's really good. Like like even though they have good backup tight end, they likely they're probably gonna play him as like kind of like their third wideout because they don't really have a good decent third wideout, so they might play likely there. Yeah, likely it's a good backup, but yeah, Andrews, he's a great tight end. The number 1, I still have Travis Kelce, the Chiefs. Like he's future Hall of Fame tight end, one of the best tight ends of all time. He's great. He did show a little bit like he might not. He's still great. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, can he keep up this much longer? Because he is 34. He's gonna be 35 in early October. So we'll see how he does there. But yeah, he's still a great year. He's still a great tight end. Like he might, if he has struggled year, like you'd have to consider moving him down like a spot or 2. But even then, he won't be going very far down. See there, here's a so 15 games last year. He had 984 yards. He had 93 catches and 5 touchdowns. Which yeah, it's like he barely been half 1,000 yards. He missed week 1 because of injury. Final game of the season was just Chiefs didn't play some of their starters just because they had to kind of had their spot in the playoffs clinched. But yeah, because he's awesome, good blocker too. Yeah, he's perfectly great. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night.